If you want to grow your fan base, boost your streams, and make real money from your music without necessarily begging for attention or going viral, then I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, because most of you guys think that you need to drop more music or do some crazy kind of content to get noticed. But the truth is, music doesn't sell itself, your story does. And today I'm going to show you what to post, even if you have 0 fans, that actually gets people to care, connect, and then eventually buy. Now, you've been told before to just post more and everything is going to be cool, but I'm going to tell you that I know that you know that, and I've tried that too, and it's not working. That mindset was birthed out of the algorithm, and it's information overload. You're being told to post for attention instead of building for connection, and that's what the value is. So if you fail before, it's okay, but it won't be okay if you keep doing the same thing that's actually keeping you broke. You see what I'm saying? Let that sink in. I know that hurt. But I'm for real though, let it sink in. Because if you're just starting out and you don't have a fan base yet, this is going to give you a content game plan that's going to build momentum from nothing. If you already post, but your audience isn't growing or buying, then you're going to finally learn why and what to do instead. Okay? That's what we're going to tackle here. My goal is to really help you understand that 2 story types and an access point is the level 1 key to getting attention and converting it into dollars and cents. And I'm going to show you what to post at each step, or on each step rather. Okay, that's really going to change the game for you. Because a client of mine started out posting talent-based videos of her singing. And this is great because we need to know that you're talented. And if your talent levels match with our expectations of how musical talent should be, at least in our minds, then this allowed her to coast for a while, even before going viral until she started to incorporate stories into the talent-based videos. Now, I would later learn that the story of it all would be the key to sales. So it doesn't matter the tactics you use to show or tell your story, hint, hint. What matters is that you do it, period. Okay, so let's get into that, because I'm telling you, it's going to change the game. Now, the first story type is documenting the process, which is based on showing and not telling. And side note, I know you all have heard this plenty of times before, but I'm going to make it make sense. So just stick with me, because many of you guys think that your story content has to be perfect with wonderful edits and captions. But this is the ugly stuff that doesn't require anything but a phone and you pressing record. That's all it takes, man. The reason why most artists don't want to do this type of content is because they feel that it's not perfected. Perfection is just masked anxiety. And it's because you feel that it is not good enough, but in actuality, people really appreciate the raw aspect of what's currently going on with you, right? And the process of you doing what it is you're doing. Because a lot of you all think you need to go viral, just to grow. But the truth is, people follow process, not perfection. And the fastest way to get fans is to let them watch you build. Because you got to think about it. Your fans are imperfect, and they're sitting there watching their entertainment, which is technically their television. They're watching their television. And, when they're looking at that, they're like, this person is just like me. Their story resonates with mine. But they're just watching you do it. There's nothing perfect about it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the past, many of you have heard document the process beaten into your brains and in your heads by Gary Vee. But at the end of the day, when you have nothing else to start with, no editing software or anything fancy, all you got to do is turn on the phone and document the process. In fact, this is how we actually know of Deion Sanders' sons, Shador and Shiloh, after the reality show, that is, because their story was documented. It wasn't necessarily told, it was shown. That's the key. So that's type 1, showing. And the easiest way to do this is to take out your phone, take a picture of your setup. Now I'm talking about a picture on your phone, record it, put a caption underneath that photo and say, this is what's going on and this is how it's going down. And then post clips of you working on your music, and just share raw behind the scenes stories as well as your thoughts about your journey in real time. Eventually, you'll turn the camera on and then you'll start documenting the process and just really stepping in front of the camera to become comfortable with it, because you're going to actually eventually become that superstar that you've always dreamed of, and you're going to have to get comfortable with being in front of that camera. Now, I know that you're thinking you're going to skip this, but if you only knew that the story is the key to your sales, then you would do it, because your music doesn't sell itself. It never did and it never will. If you want to get more money in this business, or in business period, you're going to have to show or tell your story to somebody. Now we got to do something special, which is called speaking for the niche. And it's really just speaking for your type of audience that you're trying to appeal to. right? This is the second type of story, and it's all about telling it now. Like before it was showing it, but now it's about telling it. And it's important to be honest here because this will lead you to more growth. Again, it's not about perfection. It's about truth. Most artists try to go broad, but when you speak to everyone, no one hears you. People follow artists who reflect their own identity and emotions. Now we're in a niche now, okay? And the only reason that you're in this position is because you're not speaking as yourself. You are speaking from the standpoint of what you believe people want to hear from you. And this has always been a common problem in the music industry when artists suffer with dealing with their own identities. However, the more true you are to your personal identity and the more you express it, the more we can deeply relate with you. We want to know why you create the kind of music you do and who it's for and why it matters. And we also want to know your unique perspective on the world, because the more you give this to us, the more we tune into you, and then the more you become a fabric of our lives. You don't know it yet, but what you're actually doing is you're creating fans. You're growing your fan base. And the more you consistently tell your story is how your fan base grows consistently. It's an easy exchange, okay? And if you think that this is not true, I want you to think about people you follow and how much information you actually know about them. You'd be surprised when you look and you realize that you know a whole lot about these people that you're a fan of. So why don't you think the same thing wouldn't work for you? See what I'm saying? Now, I want you to create just a 60-second video that explains who your music is for. Be bold, and the right people will show up. Just give it time. This way you'll stop chasing fans and start attracting people. Because people attract themselves to story. Let's say you ran an ad. You ran an ad and people love the music on the ad, but they didn't make it to Spotify, but they love it, all right? Now, I follow you. The next thing I'm waiting for you to do is to show up in my feed to give me some more information about you, because though I love that song, I'm not completely sold. The thing about the ad is it's an announcement, so it just brings people in. If you direct people to Spotify, cool, but once they get on Spotify and they made it all the way through, they really just like that song enough to add it to their like playlist. That's it. Now, once they get over there, they're not coming back to Instagram to go to your page. Like you would have had to have made a major impact for that to happen. They like that song and throw it on Spotify. They're going to come back to Instagram, skip following you, and keep going through their feed because they're in their evening mode of entertainment or their lunchtime entertainment. I don't really have time to dig into your feed. I want to be entertained by everybody else that's on my feed. And that's really what's happening. So if they make it to your page, you see what I'm saying? If they make it to your page and they follow you, they're expecting you to tell your story. They're expecting you to give them more information about who you are so that they can eventually consume everything else you got. All right. Now, I got to give you point 3. Okay, because this is designing things for discovery, because eventually these people that you've cultivated within your following will want something from you, and hopefully you'll learn enough about them and know what they actually want. But at this point, it's always going to go back to the offer. All you need is a clear next step, otherwise known as a call to action, and a simple way to give access to whatever it is you want to give them access to. But the only reason why artists get stuck here is because they fail to say, go here, do this, go there, buy that. And I know this because nearly 80% of the people that I talk to in my community and on my consultation calls face this issue. And I always have to break through that anxiety. The same thing happens with your customer. So here's what you want to post. You need a post that says comment such and such word, and I'll send you something exclusive. Don't do this on YouTube. Don't do this on TikTok. That's a mini chat automation. I made that mistake, even though I knew it, but I messed up in my scheduling, and it was like hell trying to get people the actual link to whatever they were commenting for. So don't do that. Then you're going to need a pin post that leads to a $5 to $15 offer. Just put it there. Pin it at the top of the page. That will be where you're going to be selling your product. This could be a D2C album with a mini doc in it, a remix kit. It could just be a mini doc period. It could be some type of merch item, whatever it is. Post that, okay? And then eventually you can tell people that it's at the top of your page or wherever they can go get this thing, however they can get it, direct them to wherever it is. And then you're going to need a reoccurring post about your journey with the offer attached. Okay, something that comes around where you talk about more parts of your journey, but it leads to the same thing. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, do not give offers behind your paywall to your audience for free, because if you do, fans will feel cannibalized, meaning they'll feel a little bit slighted because, oh man, the same thing I just paid for, you gave them for free? Oh, come on, man. Like now they won't come back and buy. You don't want to do that. But if you get this part right, you'll start to see an uptick in streams happen, as well as sales starting to happen one by one. Just give it some time. And if you're just starting, and if you're already moving, don't get beside yourself, because you got a ways to go. We got a lot of storytelling to do. So I don't want you to sit around and hope things will change. Try this out and then try this for yourself and watch the results that happens, because how much longer can you afford not to tell your story, man? Show them your story, tell them your story, and then call them to action. And if you need help understanding this method even more, join the Music Money Makers every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go over stuff like this all the time. We talk about situations like this all the time live on Zoom. So anyway, the truth is your story is interesting. You have the skills to do this, and you have more than enough resources to get it done. It's the fear that maybe it won't work because everybody else seems to be doing a better job at it than you. But once they started where you are, okay? So your story becomes interesting the moment you start telling it authentically. Every journey has value, especially the messy parts that don't make sense, that show your humanity. That's what actually connects with people. That's what we like to see. You know what I'm saying? And you just need to start with what you've got and watch how far that can take you. You know what I'm saying? The cost of not sharing your story and staying silent is far greater than any discomfort you might feel putting yourself out there. Because every day you wait is another day of potential fans passing you by, and another opportunity for connection lost, and another dollar left on the table. I'm just telling you straight up what it is. Think about it. While you're waiting for the perfect moment to start documenting your journey, hundreds of other artists are already building their tribes and creating real connections with fans who could have been yours, because you all operate in different niches and genres. So the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break through the noise and then make an impact in this increasingly crowded space that you're in, or that you're trying to become a part of. But at the end of the day, your story is your most powerful asset in music. It's not just about the songs you create, it's about the journey, the struggles, and the triumphs that brought you here. And when you share authentically, you create a bridge between yourself and potential fans who see themselves in your experiences. So remember, every great artist started exactly where you are now, with a story waiting to be told, okay? So Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video. Join me and the whole Music Money Makers crew on musicmoneymakers.com. Grab the free stuff, like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.